Now for one of the coolest mods. That is amazing. What a beaut. Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to our Mods of the Week Spotlight series for Jurassic World Evolution 2, or Mods of the Fortnight, as is the case. There were literally no mods the other week, so had to wait a little bit, but now suddenly we've got 9 fantastic new mods to cover, some new species, some new cosmetics, all of that good stuff, some baby dinosaurs, exciting times. As per usual, the mods will all be linked down below, and very quick disclaimer, quicker and quicker every day. Mods can possibly cause problems with your game. It doesn't look like the game is going to update anymore, however, so this is a great time to mod. I will be doing a full modding guide and recommended mod thing at some point in the coming days. If you want to wait for that, though, that would be a good idea as well if you're new to modding. Right, let's get started with our first brand new cosmetic and new species, technically. So this beautiful looking thing is Giganotosaurus annectens by Wheat, with help from Game Videos for Life, Viral and Syntech. And it is quite simply a cosmetic for the Giganotosaurus, updating it a little bit to the annecten species rather than, is it Regalis or something at the moment? You can see it doesn't have a head crest anymore. It's also substantially larger. Now that can be quite difficult to see unless you already have an Giganotosaurus in place. So let's, how's the alphabet work? So that is that one. If we go to cosmetic set 1, there you go. You can see it's not a huge difference, but the annectens is definitely, let me just pause that for a second. The annectens is definitely a little bit larger than the one we currently have in game. As you can see that the back hit's a little bit higher. Generally speaking, this is actually really cool for like a mixed habitat sort of thing, given the size differences. You could knock the crest up to something like, you know, sexual dimorphism maybe, or you could simply have 2 different species of Giganotosaurus living together and still looking different from each other. We've got some beautiful skin patterns, beautiful colorations matching the original Giganotosaurus. It's a little bit bigger, and that's a cool bonus to this increased size. Unlike the Giganotosaurus we have in the game at the moment, this one will not be insta-killed by raptors and other small carnivores. You know, the animation that plays where they kind of bloop, bloop, bloop and jump on the back and ravage them. That will no longer happen with these big boys. And look at these skins, very cool. This black and red one in particular is very, very cool to see. So the skin work is beautiful. It's been scaled up really nicely. The animations are all working and stuff like that. So yeah, really cool. Just a nice bit of variety for your parks and for your Gigantosauruses. Okay, next up we have an incredible looking mod here. This is Raui. Every time I have to pronounce one of these bloody things, I get confused. R-A-U-I Sucus. Raui? Raui Sucus by Trippy13. A late Triassic archosaur from Brazil. A member of, funnily enough, Rausucidae. A group of land-dwelling crocodilian relatives. You can kind of see that it is essentially a bipedal giant crocodile creature. And this was, as you can probably tell, a top predator for the time. You know, we're talking the Triassic, the larger dinosaurs hadn't started to come in yet. This thing was 13 feet long, 250 kilograms in weight, capable of hunting reptiles and potentially even hunted down early dinosaurs as well. So dinosaurs weren't yet established, and a lot of these Rausucians would have been apex predators for their time and region. Yeah, I think this thing looks really cool. I really like the texturing on the skin. I really like the skin coloration. I think the model is pretty fantastic. You can see this kind of sort of crocodilian aspects with the scoots along the back and stuff like that, but it also feels dinosaurian. It feels very much like a mixture of the two. You're going to be a pain, aren't you? I wonder if, there we go. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Dinosaur, crocodilian, really nice skin patterning, really nice texture to the skin as well. Feels like a dinosaur, well, not dinosaur. You tell them. It feels like a creature ripped straight from Jurassic World Evolution, you know, a Frontier releases. So we're like, yeah, that's cool. I really like these MONORAILs as well. Shout out to Trippy13 for a fairly fantastic new Archosaur. they've done such a good job at making these sauropod calls feel like echoey and booming. Like you feel them in your gut. It's really impressive. So this is Suurus by Hassan Wakatri, and Suurus is a diplodocid from the late Jurassic of North America. One of the longest dinosaurs ever discovered. You can kind of feel that from the model. One of the longest dinosaurs ever discovered at up to, or maybe even higher than, 131 feet in length. A specimen of Suurus known as Jimbo might also be the oldest dinosaur ever discovered. By oldest, I mean it was the oldest individual fossil that died. Not like the dinosaur for the longest ago, but the dinosaur that was the oldest when it died, right? Now, Jimbo was almost certainly at least 60 years old, probably quite a little bit more. Probably quite a bit more. And in fact, Jimbo, the Suurus, great name by the way, Jimbo was so old that the study found that they simply didn't have the methodology to figure out how old Jimbo was, because the methodology they used put him at 225 years old, which is very unlikely. But basically, Jimbo is so old that their usual methodology for analysing dinosaur age couldn't work anymore. And they put another diplodocid at like 60. So that's why they think Jimbo is at least older than 60 years old. So this is a really cool Suurus by Hassan Wakatri. Really cool to see them branching out and doing more things like this as well. Definitely get that diplodocid kind of body shape. Is, you know, a little bit more horizontal in formation than the verticality we see on our Brachiosaurus, etc. We've got the spikes down the back like on the Diplodocus, which makes a lot of sense. The neck's a little bit higher up as well. That big, long, whip-like tail. And then my favourite bit is just the really interesting, evocative coloration and patterning. Of course, you could pick some slightly more chill colorations if you wanted to, just by using different things. Tell you what, we should mess around with this a little bit more. Where's my super? There you are. Love the little icon for it as well, but we can see some different colours if we go onto here and just kind of click through a little bit. It's using the expanded colour core like a lot of these mods will be these days. So you can see you got huge variety in colour and pattern. Really, any colour and combo of colour you could possibly want, you can put onto this dinosaur, which is pretty cool. Now for one of the coolest mods. That is amazing. What a beaut. So this is not Microceratus. This is not Microceratus. This is a MacroCeratus, made by Viral Cyclops and commissioned by Dark Speed. I will mention quickly, this is on the Indominus Rex rig, as you will have noticed. So although you can release 4 or 5 of these at once, as with the Microceratus, you should only release 1, or it'll break your game. So only release 1 at a time. And yes, it's a joke mod. It's, you know, a bit of genetic messing around. There's really no reason, if you think about it, that the people at Jurassic World couldn't have done this. This is definitely a viable idea. You know, in theory, they could make the dinosaurs any size they want. We've seen already, they made the Velociraptors humongous. They made the Dilophosaurus smaller, etc., etc. Why not make the Microceratus absolutely gigantic for funsies? This is a proper herbivore that would actually be able to fight back against the Indominus Rex. It's kind of terrifying, but I love it. I just think it's a really fun idea. I like it. I like my little silly jokey mods. Hey Macro. So a very cool mod here, again by Viral Cyclops, commissioned by Girouette, and this brings in a much requested creature into the game, one that I think people were maybe a little bit surprised that Frontier didn't add before support stopped for Jurassic World Evolution 2. This is the 1993 Triceratops body variant. So basically it takes the, let me just grab one of these and sit on it. As fun as that might sound. So this takes the 1993 Triceratops that we've already got in the game. At the moment it's a single cosmetic, or 2 cosmetics, so you can only release it as those colours. But this takes them and it brings it into its own body morph entirely. So we get the 1993 Triceratops, but we can now change the body colour, as you can see, a little bit. It's all quite tame and chill. And we can also change the pattern. We can add a pattern here onto the crest, onto the frill, As you can see, we've got this kind of spirally circular pattern here, and then we've got it in blue there, we've got it in sort of purplish colours there, we've got it in sort of faded out on that one. And oh, got one over here, you can see a yellow one over here. So we've got a little bit of variation in body colour, and then we've got a little bit of a crest as well, as you would expect to see on the Triceratops. Doesn't replace anything, you can still play with your original 93 Triceratops if you want, but you know, a lot of us wanted to see more colours on that 93 model because the model is better than the default Jurassic World Triceratops. The body shape is nicer, we've got the osteoderms down here at the back, which are really cool. It's a nicer model in general, so now we get a lot more variety with it, which is really cool. Once again by Viral Cyclops, as with the next two mods as well. Viral released 5 different mods this past week, or past one day as it was. This is the Nanmu Behemoth Giganotosaurus, once again commissioned by Darkspeed. Nanmu are I don't know what else they do, but at the very least they make dinosaur toys, dinosaur figurines almost, more so. And their Giganotosaurus, the Nanmu Giganotosaurus, is nicknamed Behemoth, and this is what it looks like, basically. This is what it's been modelled off. So this is the tiger skin, this is like a unique skin, part of like the cosmetic pack, but then you've got also your whole random skin selection as well, like this one over here with the very evocative white striping, a little fainter there. Why does my game still do this? Does anyone know why my game rotates like this? I'm not doing anything, by the way. My game just loves to randomly rotate every now and again. A really interesting Giga. I don't have any particular knowledge or attachment to the Nanmu Giga myself, it must be said, but I think the model is really nice. It's a nice bit of variety for the Giga we have in the game already. The head shape in particular is quite interesting. It looks almost Smilodon-esque in some ways. I don't know what that is about it that's doing that for me, but does anyone see what I mean in that it's got that slight Smilodon Sabercat kind of skull shape going on? Maybe I'm crazy. So, once again, by Viral Cyclops, and once again commissioned by Darkspeed, this is smaller 1993 Gallimimus, and it doesn't, again, it's another one that doesn't really mean anything unless I show you an existing Gally, so let's just grab one of those when I learn the alphabet. I'm very concerned about how long it's taken me to remember the alphabet. There we go. So that is our existing 93 Gally, and there is the new 93 Gally. Let me just change the time of day there. So yeah, as you can see, it's quite a substantial size difference between the two. There doesn't look to have been any model changes beyond that. None that I can see, it's just been resized. This is trickier than it seems. It's been resized, but it's retaining all the original animations, you know, which is not a particularly easy thing to do. So despite being half the height, it does function completely. And you know, it depends what you want to use it for. Maybe you just want to have a smaller Gallimimus for some particular reason. But of course, the main benefit of something like this is that you could now use this as a baby Gallimimus if you wanted to. It's about half the height. It could be a juvenile. It could be like a sub-adult sort of Gallimimus with its smaller size. So between that and the next mod, you could build yet more. You can build baby dinosaurs. You could even release your Microceratus and pretend it's a baby for the Macroceratus if you wanted to, which I'm a little obsessed with. I'm not gonna lie. This thing's pretty incredible. Let's check out those other babies. Not a sentence I ever really want to say again. Must be sad. So, very cool, yet again, by Viral Cyclops for the final time today, I promise, but this time commissioned by Fingers, which is a strange one. These are the baby Jurassic World Raptors, custom new skins, as you can see. It's very, very cool blue and sort of peachy sort of colour, like tepid sort of colour going on there, but we do have, as you can see, we've got Echo and Charlie and all that kind of lot hanging around as well. We do have the default Jurassic World colorations in there as well, and once again, I'm just going to show you a comparison. These are, you know, labeled as baby dinosaurs. They are meant to be baby velociraptors. So as you can see, it's a pretty substantial difference between the two. They're definitely small enough to act like baby raptors. So we've got baby raptors, we've got baby gallimimuses, and as you can see now, it will be a little janky here and there, but once again, the animations themselves have been sort of shrunk down and applied to these smaller models. It's called animation shrinking or whatever, and it's a fairly new thing, I think, when it comes to Jurassic World Evolution 2 modding. And it's really cool. It means they can act exactly like their parent dinosaurs do. They can retain all the existing animations, but be on the entirely smaller rig. So that means it makes them feel more like actual baby dinosaurs. In the past, the baby dinosaurs would often be on just the rigs of smaller dinosaurs. You'll have seen, for example, there's a baby T-Rex mod out there, I believe, that's on the rig of the Compsognathus and stuff like that, so it kind of bounds around, and we've seen that quite a lot. So it's really cool to see these animations being picked exactly the only non-baby. Really cool to see the animations being shrunk down so they can really act and behave like their parents do, but in smaller, cuter, baby-fied form. So this is Dollyorops, or Dollyorops by Hassan This is a plesiosaur from the late Cretaceous of North America. Now, there isn't that much exciting to say about Dolly, if I'm totally honest. I'm sorry, buddy. There are two species, Osborni, which is the one we're looking at right here, actually. And then there's a smaller one and a much newer one, only discovered in 2005, called Herschelensis. There were a third and a fourth. There was a third called Boneri, which was reassigned to a new genus, Martinectus, last year when it was the genus was re-evaluated. And there was also a fourth one called Tropicensis, which was also assigned a new genus last year, and that moved to a genus called Scalamagnus. So Dolly is back to only having two species, but a really cool looking plesiosaur here from Hassan. Really interesting sort of striations on the texture there, almost fur-like in a way. And the interesting thing is, of course, we've got plesiosaurs that look somewhat like this already, but this one is, as you can probably tell, quite substantially smaller than some of the others that we have in the game. And look at that, we've still got the little lovely rotatey, spinny little movements going on there. And not much else to say about this one. It's got that really long snout, which is actually where the name comes from. It's the long-snouted pork chop or something. I can't quite remember what it is. It's a long-snouted or long-nosed, I think is the name. And it's a beautiful little thing, very majestic, really nice variety of colours. We've got this very naturalistic one over here, of course. And again, over here, you can see the stripe, but it's darker. And then we've got lots and lots and lots of variety in coloration, thanks to that expanded colour core mod. Which I love seeing all these mod makers utilise. Expanded colour core means you can have a variety of colours, up to like 50 different colours or something crazy. And people are really taking advantage of that, giving us tons of variety. And they're beautiful creatures, as you can see. So shout out to Hassan for two fantastic creatures today. Love that paddle tail as well. It's a really interesting shape, actually. That little tiny paddle tail, but sprouts out at both sides. Very unique. And a beautiful critter to add to your packs. Rowie, where have you gone, buddy? You've left me. They always leave me in the end. It's out there somewhere, and it's beautiful. Alright, 9 fantastic mods. Like I say, go give the mod makers some love. And yeah, that's about it from me. Let me know which is your favourite of the bunch down below. Throw me a like if you enjoyed the video. Which of these will you possibly download? Or maybe you're on console. Which of these would you download if you had access yourselves? Really cool as well, of course, to have our 93 Triceratops finally getting patterns and colours and seeing that model utilised so much better than it has been in the past. That's awesome to see. Thank you very much for joining me. It's very, very warm. I'm going to go die. Cheers. Much love as always. Bye-bye.